Yeah, well, we do that here quite a lot in Belgium. This moment once a month, actually, since many years, once a month we get together with a group and then we chant bhajans, you can say, which are a little bit like mantras, but they are more songs actually than mantras. And it is also quite different from mantra chanting. When we chant mantras, then the mantra should be chanted quite in a monotonous way, so that it induces kind of a meditative state. So in bhajans, this is very different because there we are exploring also other agreeable emotions and then in relation to the divine, no? Meaning that you have the love for the divine in whichever form it appeals to you there. We have the joy that we can feel at the divine being there and at life being there, at the Leela of life, no? And we can feel wonder at this miraculous universe, which even though we talk a lot about it, we hardly understand it, no? And feel like, wow, what an adventure this life is. And we can also, no, maybe with some faster singing, feel courageous in our practice, maybe, or in our life, just generally. No, so these things then we can develop, and I would say that when people are normally singing and playing guitar and all that, they are also doing that. But there is a bit of a difference because our love for the divine can be quite absolute, no? Can be quite unconditional. Our joy at feeling this wonderful life can be, yeah, without bounds, actually, no? When we sing a love song, which is about, I don't know, some guy, some girl, then, okay, yeah, they're still not perfect, no? While the divine is perfect, no? So there, our love can also be perfect. So in that way, chanting, I think, which is anyhow a very good way to express some kind of emotion, to release some kind of emotion, to live some kind of emotion, is in that way good practice, belonging really to the heart chakra. It's a typical part, I would say, of Bhakti Yoga, because anyhow, when we chant like that, I think love is the main rasa, the main emotional essence at play, and then the others, they can join there. So it is very agreeable, and when we do it with a group, we do it for about 2 hours, relatively, like, without too much talking in between. I mean, I might say something about each bhajan so that people can maybe more feel associated with the deity that it's talking about, or something like that, but really short, so that we really stay in that mood and don't start thinking too much, and really, like, yeah, have this joy of togetherness, of course, also, and this harmony of voices, which is also very good to, like, bring our awareness on a different level, no? When we sing on our own, it's very different. When we sing together with others, we have to listen. So we are very involved, no? We can easily sing something and at the same time think of something totally different. But when we sing together with the group, we are attentive, we are listening, we are trying to make a harmony, to make a balance, and to be in the same rhythm and all that. And so the experience is that afterwards people feel very much happy, joyful. And one thing we have learned is that it is best that if you do it in the evening, that at the end of the session there are some more calm songs, so that in the end you do come to a very calm kind of happiness. Otherwise, our experience is that many people have trouble sleeping. They come home after the bhajans evening, they're in bed and they're still singing. They're still, like, so enthusiastic and energized by the singing. And so in that way, yeah, we then chant some things, maybe without instruments, very calm, very soothing, maybe just Om also, or something like that. And so then that really brings something. And I would say that also on your own, this can be very much a practice, of course. It then depends a little bit more on your concentration, no? But for sure, no? To be able there to love without bounds, no? And express it in your singing. Voice is such a powerful thing, no? The emotionality which is in there is, I think you can make people cry in many different ways, but the best way you can make somebody cry is by singing, no? Because there the emotion is most keenly felt. So in that way also on your own you can there exercise this love, no? Which, as I said, no, if you go outside in the world and you want to love everybody, not so easy because they are not all very agreeable, maybe, or it's hard, no? It's maybe easier if you go in nature, because there, you can easily love the flowers and the plants and the birds and everything, even though nature also, of course, has its own, let's say, bit of cruelty, no? In the reality of life and death, and even trees fighting for sunshine and things like that. If you really start looking, you also see that. But still, no, there it can be done. But if you do it on your own, and okay, whichever, we usually sing the Indian songs, but they could be any kind of spiritual song that focuses on the divine and does not so much focuses on the content, on the message. It's more the essence of the message which is important, and that is why usually, although we also use sometimes longer bhajans, but most of them are quite short, repetitive, so that shortly after starting with it we kind of forget about the subject and we just go into the feeling of it, and then for as long as we like, we stay there, no? So definitely advisable, and I think it gives people a lot of release. No? Many people have some emotional problems. I think we all have some emotional issues, no? And singing is just a great way to release that and feel lighter afterwards. I always have thought it was quite strange in a way that of all the things that I do here in Belgium, the Bhajans have always been the most popular. And I always thought that was strange because, like you, many people in the West, of course, they have a problem with this devotion thing, no? Because of all the problems caused by religion, and somehow this feels associated to it. But still, it's very popular, and many, like new people, they come through that because, I guess other people are just convincing them you should come because it's just great. And very important there also is that this is not a performance, no? If you want people to open up into it, they should not feel a kind of stress that they have to sing very beautifully or really not make any mistake at all. So, we try to sing together in harmony, but everybody should feel free, no? To express the emotion, and if then it comes out maybe a little wrong, who cares, no? Same way, actually, we also allow people to bring their own instruments, some drums, some guitar, some this, some that, and just, add to that. And as long as it does not become too dominant, it's okay, no? If you have somebody coming with a big djembe, that can really, like, set a certain, like, vibration, which may be a little much, but then I just ask them, in the next song, maybe you put some cloth, over the djembe, and then it doesn't sound so loud. Or also a harmonium can be very loud, for example. So that is then, in the detail, but somehow, even though we have such a aversion against everything religious in the West, I feel people very easily, they go into it and come back, no? Want more, no? And we also have recorded many of these bhajans. They are to be found on my Leela Yoga website. And so then people can download them and chant them also at home, maybe while cleaning or cooking or whatever. So it's a very nice feeling of togetherness then, even when we are not together. So that is also a nice aspect, I think. It gives people something to do at home, which is not so like tedious than, say, meditation or some other practices, no? But still will affect them. And these bhajans, okay, depends a little bit, but they are not made just like that. Just like mantras are not made just like that. These bhajans also, they have certain sounds, certain syllables, certain effect on our energy, and will generate the feeling associated with the deity. No? So they can also be quite powerful.